Hello, and welcome to another edition of RCN and Ameliorate Podcast. We're here today to talk about the very serious subject of child trafficking, and RCN is Rescue Children Now, and our website is rescuechildrennow.org. We're making sure that we're working to keep every child safe, and we're not going to stop until every child is safe. And Ameliorate, if you'll tell us a little bit more, Stacey,
Sure.
about it.
Ameliorate means to enhance, to improve, or to make better. So we ameliorate lives. We have teamed up with Rescue Children Now, and we are on a mission to help children from child trafficking and to ameliorate their lives.
Yeah, through prevention, through awareness. We're making such a difference to help people wake up so that this doesn't have to happen to another person, and we're not going to have to meet more survivors. But instead, we're going to prevent that from happening. We're really blessed to have Sam here with us today. Sam, you are such a courageous man.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming on today, and we know that you're a survivor of extreme abuse where you were trafficked through Child Protective Services. So
Yes.
Thanks for being here, and if you will, please tell us your story.
Well, my story kind of starts off at 18 months old. My own mother burned my penis with cigarettes and stuff, so I was taken out of the home, and I was put into foster care at that very moment. I'm not sure the abuse, the earliest memory of abuse I have through CPS was about 4 to 5 years old. We were definitely in a foster home that was trafficking a bunch of us children at that time, and many men, and it's almost like Gladiator. They would line us up and then like pick a child that they wanted. We had to have a sign that said what our name was and what we can do and stuff like that. But yeah, and then as I got older, it just kept getting more and more of the abuse. As I got bigger, I was a lot more stronger. So the abuse still happened, but most of it was like more mental and physical.
Were you groomed actually, or did that kind of thing happen?
The grooming never really happened. It was so violent.
You were
It was-
18 months old when you first got taken, so
But the grooming, well, everybody gets groomed, but the grooming that I underwent was not so much grooming. It was forceful. It wasn't like they didn't take me out to go get candy or toys or anything like clothes or anything like that. They just like, you're going to do this, and and that's what they did. So they didn't really groom us,
Right.
At least not me. But it was weird because it seemed like a lot of foster parents were becoming foster parents just to get the money from the state, and then would abuse us. If it wasn't just sexual, it was also physical. I was in a family where the whole family was abusing me, but the thing was, it's just, I remember at 4 years old, or 5 years old, sorry, I said I will never cry again, and I didn't. And I was living in a group home about 13, 14 years old, and I beat up a male staff member. I broke his arm and jaw, and I was treated with such disregard as a human being and taken down to the board member room. And there was about 30 people in there, and they told me that stop lying. And like some of the other people I've heard on your guys' site, and this is why I came forward, is because I wanted to shed some light on this, because it doesn't just happen to females. It happens to males. And it's not that it's any more like the rapes. Everybody always wants to say to me that rape is rape, and I just got raped. No, it's all like emotional. It's all your power's taken, and it's hard for you to get that power back. And so I was going through court and everything, and I was being treated like the perpetrator of this. It's amazing to me how when somebody comes forward, you're treated like the actual initiator, or you made this happen, or you should not have been violent. You just beat up an authority figure. That happens more times than you will ever believe with young men and women or young girls. And the hardest thing I think was for me was like, I was fighting on my own. You know what I mean? I had to protect my own, and I think that's the most difficult part, is because we didn't have anybody to turn to, and if you did turn to people, they didn't want to believe you. They put it right under the carpet, because how dare this happen? Because now we're going to be sued, so we can't shed some light on this.
Right.
And the individual that I ended up beating up at 13, I might add, yay me, but he was actually had 3 other cases of child molestation in 2 or 3 other group homes in other states. And when they found out about it, the charges on me were dropped, and
Okay.
and then they said I was okay. I said, you know what, you got to believe the child first.
Yes.
I mean, and I will say there's probably kids out there trying to keep from getting in trouble, and they'll say something, but still believe that child first until that child comes out to be
Right.
alive. I think that's huge. I think
It
that's
is.
a very appropriate way, but believe that child until that person is vindicated.
That's
Right.
important advice.
It really
Yeah.
is.
What else would you have as advice for our audience today, to parents and to family
boys
members?
as much as girls.
Yeah.
It's boys
Well,
as much as girls.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I was
It is
ca-
boys and girls. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a God's honest truth. Teach your children how to protect themselves. That's the biggest thing. Judo. Try to go to your local boys and girls club. Get these kids confident. Martial arts will teach that, and they'll have that conflict. If someone comes and grabs them, they're going to know how to get out of it, and then start screaming. The other thing is, make sure they have pepper spray or something that could protect them if something's happening, or let something they can yell or whatever. Teach them how to
Or whistle.
drop their body. Like if someone's trying to pick you up, do dead weight. Everything
Yeah.
that keeps them, and kick and scream and say, stranger danger, whatever you have to do to get people
We
to
have
notice
whistles.
you.
We have
Yeah.
our RCN
Yeah.
whistles.
Yeah.
Blow
Our-
those whistles
our
and
Nikki's
scream.
whistles.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Nikki's whistles we have.
Being engraved.
And scream, scream,
Oh,
scream.
yeah.
Kick.
Yeah. And it's just screams.
Another thing we're going to do, and I'm glad you brought that up, is we are now in the process at RCN and also working with Ameliorate, where we are preparing a wonderful video that will be on our websites that will teach self-protection and self-defense to children and also to
Yeah.
parents.
Right.
We're going to have both.
One of the things that people don't know, like they see a child that they say that child's dirty or that child stinks. Let me tell you, that's one of the biggest precursors
Yeah.
of abuse.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because when I did it, I purposely would not wipe my rear end after using the restroom because I felt like if I was dirty, they won't touch me. So if you have a child that is like dirty and he's not showering, or she's not
Yeah.
showering, or she's unruly, or she's like off on her own, and she's not taking care of herself, it's because they already know what will turn somebody off.
That's a sign.
That's
And
a
it's a
sign.
huge sign that a lot
Yeah.
of people overlook.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I'm telling you, I'm sorry to be so graphic, but I didn't wipe my
You need
rear end
it.
until I was like 13, 14 years
Yeah.
old. And I swear, because I felt like if I was dirty, nobody's going to want to touch me.
Yeah.
Who would want to touch that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I consciously did that. and
That's
then,
such a great thing
Yeah.
for us to keep for us
Yeah.
now at this point to keep in mind if we see a dirty child or
yeah. And,
you know,
and if they're a
I've heard of
foster
cases like that.
I have
yeah.
too. I've
Yeah.
heard of cases
And if
like
you
that.
see children that are foster kids and they're in your school, or they're your parents, or your child is with a child that you know is a foster child, ask them how they're doing, see where they're at in their mind, because if they're very withdrawn, that could be a sign that
Yes.
something is going on in that home or has been going on in the homes before that person.
Right.
And then you kind of just start looking out for that child, because we were called the forgotten. That was a huge thing that I was called myself. It's like, that's why I always protected kids in the group homes when I was in them in school. If anybody messed with my group home kids, they were my brothers, I would, defend them, because we didn't have anybody protecting us at
Yeah.
all.
God bless you.
And
for
you
doing
had
that.
each other in there, those young group
Yeah.
homes.
Yeah. I mean, the abuse was just immense.
Yeah.
It's like people don't realize it's so demoralizing. I even thought I was gay. I would purposely look at guys like, hey, is that guy happy? Because I thought this doesn't happen to boys. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought
Right,
that because they were telling me
absolutely.
I was putting this on me, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm happily not gay.
Well, we
You're not gay.
We particularly really thank you for that, and you've kept your sense of
Yeah.
humor. God bless you. But we appreciate, because there are very few men that are willing to come out and talk about this.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you especially for being one of those that are brave enough to step up
Oh,
and
yeah.
talk about
If we can
this.
save one child, hey, this is all worth
You
it.
know what?
Yes.
That's what I say. If we only just one child a day,
It's all worth it.
through awareness, through tattoos
right.
that we bring awareness to, CPS, having conversations like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When
It's
you
so
think that your
important.
children are going to CPS for safety, Child Protective Services, and 86% of those children get trafficked,
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's horrendous.
That's not
Yeah,
right.
the foster care system has got to be changed, and the
Yeah.
CPS.
It definitely has to have
They've got to
checks
be
and
held.
balances.
Yeah, they have to be held accountable, and you can make a difference. Check where you live, check your county,
Yeah.
and talk to your representatives. Talk to your congressman and tell them you're not going to put up with that anymore.
Right.
You want to know that the children in your CPS in your area are safe.
Right.
We can all. It only takes one person to change this world, and that's you. So we've got to speak out as citizens to make sure that our children are being protected. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Yes, thank you,
Sam.
Sam. Thank you for your honesty too.
Yes,
No worries.
We love that.
you've really
And
shared.
you know, as we go along, we'll have you on more and talk to you more, and
Yeah.
get
You've
to-
really shed some light on
Yeah.
some very important issues,
Yes.
important things that we need to watch for. Knowledge is power. And when you come on and talk about these kinds of things, this gives all of us
Knowledge is power.
the power to see this
Absolutely.
and to speak up. And that's another thing that you all can do at home. Watch your neighborhood. We have neighborhood watches. We have the Mama Bear Initiative, Papa Bear Initiative.
Yeah.
When you see things that are strange, don't be afraid to call.
One-
The numbers are
100%.
right there on the screen.
And
They're right on our website.
you know, one survivor that I was talking to one time said, I listened to a thing and they said, a lot of people are embarrassed to pick up the phone because they might be wrong. They're embarrassed to call and get some help for that kid. Well, please be embarrassed.
Yes.
Please, for the child,
And
take that chance of
And
being
one
embarrassed.
thing I want to, and I live by this, is that for evil to exist, good people must do nothing.
Right.
I didn't create that. I don't remember where that quote comes from, but that's very, very important. Remember, you're going to probably be that child's voice, and you're going to save a child's life if you do with it.
Yeah.
If you do
That's a
that.
great
Yes,
quote.
absolutely.
That's right.
I love it.
That's when evil exists, is when good people do nothing.
Yes.
So reach out today. Please help us at Rescue Children Now. Go to rescuechildrennow.org. Donate if you can. Volunteer if you can. Let's make a difference in these children's life and keep each child safe. And let's make sure that we see that we can prevent this
Yes.
so we don't have to have more
Yeah,
survivors.
exactly.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for joining us again for one more edition of Rescue Children Now and Ameliorate in our podcast. And Sam, our
Thank you,
hats are
Sam.
off to you. God bless you. Thank
too.
you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time right here.